Okay, we are kicking off episode 70 of the 248k run on Ribbon World with a bit of a rail grid and, in fact, at this point, a bunch of cheating. All this stuff is the things I said I was going to do, so it's not like it's not that unreasonable. But yeah, let's skip over the console commands that we've done to see what we did. This first one turns off all the pollution, because that was going to be a thing. The second one clears all pollution that exists already. This whole third block of stuff here, this is changing the map generation setting so any new sections we visit don't have biters. The fourth removes any biters that previously existed, but they were mostly blasted anyway. And this last one just turns off expansion, which is probably unnecessary. But yeah, achievements are gone now. Now we just get to build a bunch of things. I think we should check that there's no pollution on the map at any point. Yeah, so that should free up some UPS, and even now we're like solidly at 60-60, which is nice. And this will probably make no difference because we've kind of already blasted all the space anyway, which is fine. And then this build spider is also sent out here because we're just going to continue this whole, where is the big grid is this one. Yeah, just keep doing that. We've got kind of bots in the network now, I guess. I do have the build spider on. You just keep on walking, and we'll just keep doing this. And I think, oh, you've got some small array of stuff in, and yeah, okay. And now you're picking up trees as well. Okay, whatever. We'll get around to that eventually. Yeah, other minor things that happened in between episodes. I moved some number of. That's a charging machine. That doesn't tell me. Some number of construction bots over to this section of Roboport so we can build things. And then we also got this kind of thing kind of placed. It's somewhat more placed. There's still a bunch of adjustment that needs to happen. But this is going to be the new ceramics thing, which we should then plug in and then I guess talk more about, because it might. We kind of saw it last time, but I guess with all the things plugged in, it'll look better, and like we'll be able to see things work. And even though it's like some of the things need to be tapped around and plugged in differently, but yeah, we are now continuing on the. I think this is. Do I want to call this end game? It's definitely late game of the 248k mod. And we are running around building a lot of stuff. And why don't I? Oh, because my bots are off. Why do I have these things? Yes, do I not? I don't have bots. Okay, so that's why these things aren't being built. But yeah, ended up with, yeah, let's go and get these bots and then just start plugging things in and kind of turning them on, and like hopefully we can find one of these roboports having some bot. Oh no, they don't, do they? They're all down the other end of the map, because we just kicked off a grid build on the other side of the grid. So I guess we're doing these ourselves. Oh well. Most other things the bots should either have or come back for. So there's a bunch of fluid plugging in stuff here which didn't seem particularly interesting, so we did that offline. Not all of these things have power poles yet, so we should deal with that somehow. Let's also, can we connect it to this power pole? Yes. Okay, then let's get some bots back this way by just giving them jobs. And then, yeah, these guys all have their recipes set. Have I I've turned off alt mode. Okay, at some point maybe in the console stuff, alt mode stuff got turned off. So yeah, so we've got a bunch of water coming in. We've got a lot of water pipes coming in. We've got one for each of these heat processor things. Why are these guys? I thought I gave you. They're speed module 2s. I thought I bought a bunch of speed module 3s over here, and I did, and those weren't the speed modules we wanted, so we're gonna have to remember that. And yeah, changed around some of how these pipes were set up so that we could get a decent array of these things in. This whole thing at speed wants about 8,000 steam, and there were kind of nine spots here with pipes through the middle, which is kind of a weird number. We were getting kind of 3 belts of stuff out, or whatever, so we ended up just going with one of these heat exchangers per input pipe. So now the thing we need to do is we need to get the hot and cold fluid in here, and yeah, we need to power all of these things as well. Here are spots that will, if I can bridge these various networks and get everything powered, that will also make me happier. But yeah, you might notice that some of these disastrous fuel things, okay, so these are not even on the same network yet, and actually by kicking off a bunch of grid builds, the chances that the jobs will turn up down here to put these, okay, so some of these bots have got these things done, okay, whatever, cool, moving on. Yeah, these 2 stations, there's another station in here somewhere, are on the same rail line, which is pretty bad. I mean, I was strongly tempted to throw all of this stuff here just on the edge of the grid and just go, we're doing bad grid things, it's fine, and decided against that. We have at least got a bit of bad grid stuff here, but I've also just noticed, like, what? I wonder if this will work if I can plug this. I can. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna have more of an intersection. Okay, so these, if we do this, these ones need to be chains because there's an overlap here. I'll also need a chain signal here and an output here and a chain here. And then this is going to be more intersection, and then the trains depositing stuff here will have an easier time. Let's just check that we've got all of these. Yeah, we've got all of those built, that's fine. Yeah, they'll have an easier time getting out, which is nice. And then, yeah, these 2 trains will block each other, but they hopefully won't be stopping by very often, and when they do, this kind of double pump thing will mean that they don't stay here for very long, hopefully. So this is going to be like a surplus. Yeah, the one with the pumps out are going to be cool oil. So let's do train limit 1 and then do surplus cool lead, which we do not want to confuse with the lead supply, because these, and then cool lead greater than, say, 40k, which should mean that, yeah, so we're pumping it into this one, so by the time this one has 40k, in fact, we can make that less, can't we? We can make this like 30k, because by the time this one has 30k, probably all of these will have the 25k together, that they each need to fill a wagon, and the double pumps mean that's go super fast, which means it hopefully won't impact these train stations too much. But then this one also needs to be this thing as well. I think we can just call this like a regular request for hot lead. I don't see this going badly. I mean, it still might. It absolutely still might. Let's suppose we have less than 60,000 hot lead over here. Then we will call hot lead over. These train stations will interfere with each other. It's kind of fine. This build is powered now, so we haven't set up the trains for either of these things yet. There's some belts we need to change around the middle of this plus stuff as well. And then also, these things aren't powered yet. So let's get some power in here. Let's get power in here in multiple places, because I like that kind of resiliency. Let's make sure we get those in exactly the same place. And then down the other end, we should be able to make sure that, yeah, we should be able to get rid of both these things. And then make sure that this is in exactly the same place. And yeah, now we have this nice, somewhat tiling setup. Yeah, so like we talked about last time, each of these 2 things ratios pretty nicely into this thing with the speed modules. We have a request for drills, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure this network has no logistic spots. So in addition to having no drills, it also has no logistic spots. So these guys aren't going to be running until we sort out both those problems. But these two tier 3 stone quarries should ratio nicely with a crusher with a pair of speed 3 modules into giving us a complete red belt of stuff each, and then it's blue belt here to help the stack inserters unload a bunch of things. And then we want to make, yeah, I'll do all the pipe spaghetti between episodes because it's boring, he said, and then did a bunch of belt spaghetti during the episode, but it's fine. Okay, so these 4 belts we don't even need to mix because by construction each of these belts is going to be full enough from each of these blocks of stone quarries and things. And in fact, I don't know that we plan on putting stone on trains at all now. I think if I need a red belt of stone, I just do something like this everywhere I need a red belt of stone, and that should save me a lot of stuff. It should save me trains, it should save me train journeys, it should save me splitters and stack inserters and boxes and all that kind of stuff, which is good because we're getting things bigger because 248k mod, but also because end game UPS concern. So we can connect all of those up. We need to get these guys drills. The other thing we need to do is, because of the way this is set up, all of these belts need to be reversed, which is a bit of a shame. I think maybe we come back and do that in a couple of minutes time when we come back with the logistics spots, because basically we want these things in here, and I'm building over the top of ore patches as well. This might be a thing some people have trouble with. Oh well, suck it up. This is not a very big ore patch anyway. It's like 8.2 million iron, and there's much bigger iron out here that we can go and get if we need it. And we've also got star engine stuff. Did I finish building the rest of that grid? I must have, because no one's complaining about not having things. Okay, so that's good. The grid is probably built. I kind of want to wander out here to get this grid, I think, as far as the water, because there's a bunch of things that need water. So I think we're just going to continue doing this thing of, yeah, this is probably a thing that we're just going to do between episodes rather than now. Just imagine a bunch of that stuff getting done. What was the other? Yeah, then these stations are up here, and these are also not set up at all yet, but that's fine because we don't have the stuff for them. But imagine that, yeah, let's look at this train station for a bit and convince us that this actually adequately mixes only 3 lanes, because I only have 3 lanes, but this is going to adequately mix 3 lanes of stuff into 4 carriages, he claims. So let's talk about that. Like, each of these splitters will put half of their stuff into this splitter, and half of their stuff into this splitter, and then each of those splitters will split between these 2 carriages, and it's actually pretty straightforward. This could have 3 belts, this could have 4 belts. I guess this could also just have 2 belts, so this might be kind of a standard construction that we want to look at for future stations where we want to have multiple belts of stuff. And then this one actually wants to be the other way up, because we have the stuff arriving from the top, because that is how I decided to set this other thing up when the stations were slightly differently placed. But this should mean, yeah, we've now got token stacker space for all of these ceramics as well, so that's pretty cool. And then, yeah, these things, this bottom construction can feed 1 train station, and then this top construction can feed, where are we going? We're going, queue this thing, come this far? Is that where that wants to go? I think so. I think this wants to go just like... okay, it's kind of not quite in the right place, is it? Okay, we've got to come back by 1. But that's also easy to do because bots and things. So that's going to go there, and then this is going to come here, and then like so. Did they all go in the right place? They did. Yep, okay. So this top collection of ceramics will just feed this other station. But also, yeah, so there's also, like these, each belt of stone coming in will end up, actually this top one is pretty straightforward because it just wants to flip. Like we just want to get this thing and mirror it and put it like so. And then these top belts are basically doing that. And then the middle belts, which are here, which do need a bit more work to swap around, are going to come through here like so. And we are not mixing any of these belts because we don't need to, because by construction all of these belts are full, because each of these blocks of stuff completely fills one of the belts, in theory. We'll just like check that this works afterwards, which means that, yeah, this kind of, it's not quite direct feed of stone into ceramics, but it's still vast reduction of the number of inserters, vast reduction of the number of splitters. Like this is 8 belts of stone into 6 red belts of ceramics, and the only splitters we have are these ones at the station that mean that all the wagons are evenly mixed. So I like that quite a bit. I think that is going to do some good things. And then these belts are going to be in a slightly different place. I don't know how I feel about that. Probably this is going to be another thing of, hey, there's spaghetti here, and then we're going to walk away and not worry about it. But this middle section is going to be a little bit more annoying to reverse because it's got these pipes through the middle of it. So let's not do that yet. Let's go back to the main base. Actually, there was one other thing, wasn't there? I was looking at, like, after doing this awful train thing down here and making this intersection bigger and worse, I was wondering if I could do the same thing up here, because at the moment, like, both of these trains for this hot and this cold lead coolant for the ceramics build are all arriving, like, they're all coming from the east, because we're currently way out west, but this train will only let them arrive in one direction at the moment. But can we might be able to. This will work. I don't see a reason not to do this. I mean, this is going to be terrible, but that was always going to be kind of the case anyway. But if we can run, yeah, we can. Amazing. Okay, so this needs to move a little bit, and this one also needs, yeah, this is, so we broke this one, and we also broke this one, so now those are fixed again. This thing is signaled properly. This thing, that is still a chain signal there, but we need a chain signal here, and also, yeah, like, and then also these ones need to be chains instead of regular signals. We have made all of that. In fact, these ones need to disappear as well, because there's no longer enough space here for trains to arrive. So this intersection is now just worse, but I'm pretty happy that this means that all these trains... Okay, so we haven't got this other section in here yet, but it means that trains can arrive and kind of arrive somewhat cleanly and then disappear back out, back to the main grid again, in a way that I'm kind of happy with. So what do we need to bring? We need to bring out here... Okay, so we need multiple trains with the hot and cold lead. We need a bunch of speed 2 modules. We need the drills for the stone quarries. We need the logistics bots. Other than that, other than like the 6 or 7 things that we still need to do, pretty happy, especially happy with all of, like, I was like, let's build all of this near the water, and then didn't end up using any of this water. Consider just, like, ended up just running everything off this little lake. This little lake here is going to provide vast amounts of ceramics for me, which is nice. I was even wondering at one point, do I just build all of this like in the water, like a nuclear reactor, and have offshore pumps directly adjacent to all of these things. But I think we're probably fine. I mean, let's go and turn this thing on and check that we're actually properly fine first. So we're going, yeah. And then all of this, actually, should we have, let's at least also have, do I have another rail signal in between? I do have a rail signal between these stations, good. So I can actually have both trains there at once, which is super unlikely because they're probably not going to be there for that long, because hopefully those pumps get a lot of work done. But we can come back here. So yeah, so research is still ticking along. We are building the big ceramics. That power plant that we just went past needs to disappear as well. And otherwise we're kind of just into almost creative mode stuff of not worrying about pollution, worrying kind of about the power grid, and not really worrying about biters. We're going to keep the artillery train, we're going to keep the nuclear weapons production, we're going to keep all of those things. We're going to maintain a state of readiness to kind of pretend that we could do combat stuff if we needed to. We're going to keep the military research going as well, because we've got that. But we're just, for practical reasons, not going to be doing any of that anymore. I need more trains. I'm going to need a bunch of these. I'm going to need a total of 8 fluid wagons, because we've got 2 trains, one for hot and one for cold lead to do. But then we also want another 2 ceramics trains, because we can have more ceramics trains now, because we can have up to 4 instead of just 1, because we've got the kind of that stacker next to next to the ceramic station that we just put there. So that means that I need a bunch of these, and then 21 of these, so we can set up a bunch more trains. That's actually more than I need, is it? Never mind. Moving on. Where is the build? The build train at the moment is probably, oh yeah, the build train is over here. Yeah, come back over here, because I want to give you speed 2 modules, of which I don't have many speed 2 modules at the moment, because I tried to make a bunch of speed 3 modules, and so all the speed 3 modules that I tried to make used all the speed 2 modules, and as a result I don't have that many speed 2 modules to give to that crusher build. Oh well. Okay. Other things to do. Yeah, let's go back and work on, because the hot and cold, yeah, the hot and cold lead plan is also over here, and we kind of need to go over there to set up the trains anyway, and that's kind of got the other thing that I set up between episodes, kind of. Yeah, another one of these things that I kind of did during last episode and then didn't actually finish, and then was like, I'll do this later, and kind of didn't. So yeah, so this is now the fusion setup. We've got more water coming in from this lake down here, powering both of these things. This stellarator on the right saying output full, because the only thing this does is, wait, why is this one not working? Why are you not? Should you not be no input fluid? No water? Okay, here's the thing that should not... Okay, so that's a good reason to come back and test your builds, because these I was expecting to work, and they kind of weren't, so that's a thing. Bots complaining about not having rail. Yeah, they're not complaining about not having rail. Okay, so we've got these 2 trains of... Okay, these 2 places where trains do not exist, but should exist. Those 2 are supercharged. We need to make a bunch more anyway. Train can go here, and train can go here. And then wagons, I'm pretty sure I picked up 8 wagons. I don't want 8 wagons, I want 8 fluid wagons. Let's stand, yeah, we'll stand between the train tracks. There's no way that goes wrong. So where are my superchargers and things like that? Train nuclear reactor, yeah, that's what we want. You want one of these, and you also want one of these, and then multiple superchargers because we are kind of rich and dealing with that kind of stuff. And then, oh wait, there was one other thing we needed to do first, wasn't there? There was this, yeah, this, so this stellarator sends everything it can if it has... Why are you working at all? Oh, I guess because, yeah, so sends everything it can over through this pump into the, yeah, the silos filled with hundreds of thousands of units of liquid lead coolant that's hot. So I was wondering if I was going to do this with molten metals. We ended up not doing this with molten metals. We ended up doing this with lead coolant, though, which seems probably even worse. I don't remember what temperature the molten copper was at, but this, like, we've now got trains of hot molten lead rocketing around the fluid network, so that seems pretty bad. And yeah, so this stellarator will pump with priority down here, and then any excess, this guy is configured to, yeah, if I have an excess over this tank, then it will head into that bit of the power grid, and then this... Yeah, that bit of the power grid pumps its cold lead coolant out all the way back over into these tanks, which is also where this stellarator gets its cold source from. So this loop here, and I was wondering if I was going to do this with both of these. That got kind of annoying. We're only doing it with one. The other one has... Yeah, the stuff that isn't actually set up yet. This one doesn't have any lead coolant in the loop, and I was going to do this kind of thing, and then wait till this kind of filled up. Presumably this is going to fill up. Kind of expecting that to fill up. Yeah, it's just doing it slowly, isn't it? Yeah, sure, whatever. Because I guess for all the fluid flowing in here, this one is also pulling it out at 1,000 a second. Because that's how that works. Up until yeah, so now these guys are running as well. This top loop runs with this reactor on the left, and I kind of wanted to get some amount in here and then cut these pipes again so that there's always some working volume. And so this will bring us up to, yeah, all of these turbines running as well. So these top ones are on their own loop of lead coolant that just uses this stellarator, and then these bottom ones are on this loop of this stellarator and also this kind of fluid exchangey thing. Yeah, that's enough as we want that. That'll... Like, we want a decent amount in this tank, but not too much, and this will mean that there is always headroom for this to pump in, and it can always just go around in the cycle of doing the power generation thing. So that's set up now. So now we've got these trains that will let us do the hot and cold lead, except that these things... Do I ever want... I don't think I'm ever doing this from any other places. I think these train stations always just stay on. Yeah, it's probably not getting killed by anything there because these trains were blocking anything else going through. This is going to be... Yeah, so that's already cycle cool lead. So this is... Cycle cool lead empty, and then... Was it called surplus cool lead? Yeah, surplus cool lead. Full. So that's that set up, which is nice. And then over here... What do we call this? Oh, this is also going to be limit 1. Did we limit this one? Yes, good. Yeah, because we did that last time. This train, its other station is... I think we can just call this one... Yeah, I think we can just call this Have Hot Lead. Because... Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any... Like, the cool lead, we need to worry about it overlapping with the other station that like, manufactures the cool lead. Whereas this one is just hot lead, and we can just, like, move this around the place and be fine. Have hot lead, please hot lead, empty and full. And you're currently... Yeah, you've currently got 100,000 lead. Have hot lead, please hot lead. Okay, so that loop is going. So those are the first of the things we needed to do. I also needed logistics bots. Who has logistics bots? You've got regular bots, so I'm going to have those bots because I didn't have any of those. Let's go back to... This is the way I need to be facing for this thing. Oh, and I've got other trains for some more ceramics, but that's fine. These guys are not quite balanced, which is a little bit annoying. So I might again later set up... What is that? Is that... Oh, that's steam. Okay, fine. I might set up the other lithium protium thing here as well, because there is just water here to do the protium thing again. Just to make sure these balance, and also just to have more lithium somewhere. So I think that's everything we needed to do here. Let's check on the other things we did last time of... Like, have we run down these rocks? Have we run down this acid? Nearly. Is this acid... This acid is actually not pumping out anywhere, is it? It would be good if we could have, for example, a pump out here, just to drain the last of this acid. And then also, these pumps can also disappear. Yeah, just to drain the last of that acid into this network where these guys can get this stuff to process the rest of these rocks, because there's still a lot of rocks there. Then after that we can set this thing up. These guys have got the drills, because we are making drills here, which is good. Oh wait, there was another steam thing I had to do. Oh well, we're not doing that yet. We're going to go and make this other thing work. I actually don't... Yeah, I can take this train with me for the moment. And just run across here. The build train is here. The build train is here, and I wanted to give it speed 2 modules. So, can we slip through here somewhere? Speed 2 modules. Oh, and then also... Yeah, this is currently Ki2 beacons. I don't actually want... Where's my Ki3 beacons? I very much want those to be Ki3 beacons instead. So I think we're going to K3 beacons. Yeah, so that's K3 beacons. Over here is the thing that is requesting K2 beacons, so we don't want that. We want to be... Oh yeah, requesting... Yeah, requesting these K3 beacons? Yes, so that's requesting the right thing. Because we want to be doing Ki3 beacons at every opportunity now. And so this... I also now need to change the filter inserters at every other mall, but we can get around to that later. That's still a thing that's good to be doing. And then, yeah, speed 2 modules, no one else has. You still have speed 2 modules. Yeah, we're kind of still working on those speed 2 modules. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I guess get those speed modules out of here, fine. Run across here is probably... I wanted logistics bots as well. Yeah, so we recycled some of those bots out of the network to the... I think the slightly east network got some more bots. Down here somewhere, one of you guys has to have logistics bots, right? I mean, there's so many bots flying around that some of you somewhere... Actually, these ones should have logistics bots, because this is where logistics bots would be after they dumped a bunch of things in storage. Why aren't I finding logistics bots here? I'm only finding regular construction bots. These guys also... That's kind of annoying. We're still launching rockets, which is fine. Maybe some of these roboports? I need some logistics bots so that I can take them to the next grid and deliver all the drills that everyone needs to be making... Here we go. 34 logistics bots. 146 logistics bots. I shall have all of those logistics bots. And this grid still has, you know, over 1,000, and they're the upgraded bots. It's fine. These guys over here are... How many am I requesting? Was I expecting... Filters 1,000. They only stack to 20. I don't actually fit that much in it. Okay, so let's wind these back to a number that will actually work. Okay, so these guys are requesting 800 each, which is fine. This guy is full to empty, but we don't actually have a place. What are you guys doing? Sure, whatever. We don't... Yeah, these are the drills that we need to take to the grid. To the large grid to the east. Let's just get on this train. And let's drive. Not that... Oh, we also needed rail parts. Okay. We can do that later. Let's drive all the way over here. And then change this to time past and passenger present and try to remember to get out when we're there. Did I ever put radars there? No. We have radars over here, but we don't have... And actually, I kind of wanted this pattern as well. And we're going to... Actually, we kind of can't use the Factorio because we kind of want to use... This is almost like the train fuel. We want to be able to have... We only need a small number of these, and we want to combine the... We eventually want to combine the outputs into kind of the same place. But we're going to take this like so, and then get rid of all of this stuff. And then this is going to be... We're going to ask for drill parts, which are a fission stage thing. Yes. Okay. And then I did want radar coverage here, but I'm not sure where yet. And then, yeah. Okay. So we needed rail. We also needed rail because we built a bunch of rail way out to the further east, and so we're not actually going to get that finished, which is a shame. Have a bunch of logistic spots to start with, and then yeah, I want. This has got all the signals. It just doesn't have the actual rail. Yeah, fine. I want to find something that has. This is a fuel station, right? Yeah. Because this means this will have the combinators we need that check. Yeah, so these will now be, okay, it's requesting train fuel, but that's fine. We just want to change this to, actually I guess we change it back to drills. Change it back to drills, find the drills icon again. This doesn't actually need to be here at all. This just needs to connect directly to the logistics chest. And then this one here can be down this way. And now this is requesting drills. It'll train limit 1. And then drills was the thing we just looked at, less than 400. Checking just the chest. Okay, fine. So, get rid of the temporary one. Yeah, you're gonna go away. I guess we could have... Okay. Come back. And then... Where is the drills request we just set up? Please... Oh yeah, it's gonna be all the way down here because it's not actually connected to a thing yet. Full to empty. Yes. Okay. Then we want to get on this train because it's going more or less where we want. We'll go back to... Yeah, we'll go back to the base because we need to pick up... We need to come back with more rail. Actually, the other train that wants to come back to get more rail is also this one. You come back here. And then Build Spider is doing just Build Spider things. Yeah, let's... Yeah, let's we'll continue to do the thing. Yeah. Okay, sure. And then this Build Spider is also just out of parts. Okay, fine. Things that are fine. Things, yeah. We'll just... I wonder how many rail we need to take now. What is... not that one, it's this one. 1,000, and we've just dropped this down twice. So... I kind of need... to take about 3,000 rail out to that grid. And I've got 500 in each of these, and that seems like not so much of a great idea. Where is... this is a train fuel thing. The build train should be... Here's the build train. That's what we wanted. So this build train wants, yeah, that rail. You keep going with stuff. I have more rail over here. That was having 2,000 rail. So that's going to be close to the total amount of rail that we need. 3.4 thousand rail? I reckon that's actually going to do it. Let's check if we've got any more speed module 2s around the place. 9 there, not for, yeah, we're probably just waiting on a bunch of other, yeah, whatever. Okay, you go that way. And then hopefully at some point, okay, so these beacon 3s still aren't going to get unloaded, but whatever. We are going to take a bunch of rail out to... Oh, I didn't put the radar down. Oh, well. Yeah, we're going to see a bunch of rail get built here, and also further out to the east, but whatever. Yeah, all of this blinking should eventually go away, because we should have given the bots rail. Then this train station should turn off, because the other train should go there. But there were a couple of other things we wanted to do. Yeah, this train should have soon get a path, and then take the drills there, and then we didn't actually set up all of the ceramics, did we? We kind of need to go back there and reverse a couple of other belts, but never mind. There was another thing I was going to do, yeah. Okay, so we need to have another train. It needs to be going this way on this piece of rail, because there was another steam thing that we didn't actually set up yet. This steam thing over here, which we're just going to kind of hack in a thing. Because one of the steam things I was thinking about was we need to get steam into the electronics node, the explosives node, and well, I was going to do that with fusion-powered steam, and then realized a couple of things about kind of the setup. The setup can all go away now, right? Like we've got... There's no turn off my bots, because we can just have house bots do this. Yeah, all of this stuff can go away. That pump is a pump where we need to deliver steam. All of this stuff can go away. These silos can go away. All of this stuff is kind of done with. The thing I realized, several things I realized. Number one, if I'm making more of these in the fission stage, somewhere I've got... fission stage. Somewhere I've got these fancy train supercharger things, which I want to keep doing, because these trains I like, and I've invested quite a lot in making a lot of fuel, and they need high energy MOX fuels. High energy MOX fuels need plutonium, which I only get as an output of using uranium. And then also... I'm also using the thorium at the moment, which gives me other kinds of uranium in the thing that is making these drills, wherever the drills are. Where's my Logimol? Logimol is over here. These... Yeah, I realized afterwards, these nuclear assembling machines are actually going to... Yeah, we actually need to circuit condition these outputs rather than just have a passive provider with a set number of like allowable slots, because these things will end up probably with spent fuel as well. So first of all, we need to reprocess these spent fuel things. Second of all, I want to be able to continue doing... I don't actually know that I'm making... I don't think I'm making the MOX fuels anywhere. But I want to be able to continue to make MOX fuels so that I can continue to make... Not those train superchargers, other train superchargers. Oh, they're over here, aren't they? These ones are making the train superchargers. And they've already got, you know, a bunch of MOX fuels, sure. But also we want to be able to continue to make nuclear weapons if we need to, which we don't. The whole point being, in addition to... Actually, yeah, in addition to these nuclear processing things, I think I also want to continue to use some small number of nuclear reactors to basically just keep using nuclear fuel. In fact, is that... I mean, let's just check if... Okay, so I do still have 83 MOX fuel elements just floating around. And this means, I think it's like a 1 to 6 for the train supercharger. So I can make another 240 chains, which is a big deal. I've also got... I need to do... Is this the 233? Yeah, this is the stuff that I end up with when I use the thorium, and I've got a lot of thorium floating around, so I think we're going to do this as well, but it also means I need to lodge them all somewhere to reprocess these fuel rods as well. But the theme of all of this was going to be, yeah, we need to... I think the steam for these things, which is still got... We've still got the steam over here, but I think we're actually going to do a nuclear steam thing, because I just want to keep those nuclear fuels ticking over in case I need plutonium for anything, which I don't, but, you know, in case I do. So, actually, what is these... How many of these do I need? Because I know the neighborhood bonuses are crazy. 60 megawatts out. 10 megawatts is 100 steam per second. So this will give me 600 steam. One of these with no neighborhood bonus, and I don't really care about being efficient with the neighborhood bonus because it's more about using the fuel anyway, and going down, you know, the whatever it's called, the thorium chain of nuclear processing. So I can get 600 steam out with one reactor, and then how much are these guys using? What are these recipes like? 40 steam every 5 seconds. And I've got 4, and these guys also that amount of steam. 40 steam, 5 seconds. Yeah, so I've got like 5 here, but actually what are these building speeds? Yeah, about 6. I think these might also all get beaconed harder later. Am I going to be able to fit... Oh yeah, I'll be able to fit like a single tier 3 beacon in here instead of a pair of regular beacons. And that will end up boosting all of these guys by more, but that's still... 600 steam a second is still way more than this build needs, which is fine, because this build is going to get its own dedicated steam process. 6 of these can go... here? What else am I connecting these to? Where is this other... I might be able to sneak it in, because we're kind of sneakily jamming this in, is what this is about now. This, we can get these guys out of the way, we can get that guy out of the way, we can have more undergrounds through... Is that actually gonna... I was gonna reach here. Yeah, so these can also just go in here. And we can have one of these things, like, wherever, really. Could just, like, go there. Not at all a big deal. And then we also need to get water through here. Would I rather run this... Because at the moment I've still got this water from these pumps. Like, these pumps are still connected, and they're kind of coming through... Are they coming through here? They're not, are they? They're going into this garbage. I don't want this garbage at all. The extent to which I don't... Let's just check that there's no residual heat that I would rather use. Nah, this is all run out, and then these guys have still got a bit of tank steam in it, but whatever. All of these guys can just disappear. Oh, actually, I did want to do this differently because I wanted this going into a tank first so I could circuit condition when this guy gets fuel. Because the whole point of this is this guy doesn't even need to be that effective. But if all of this stuff gets out of the way, this is also in the category of things to tidy later between episodes, because all of this garbage can just go away now. This can go here. Yeah, and then these ones don't need to exist, and then this one is also, yeah, just run across the train tracks. This is also... Can we... Yeah, I think we're still going to need some number of... Are we going to need some number of pumps? We're not. We only actually need to make this... We only need to make this do 600 fuel units per second, because that's all this thing and all these are going to produce at all. But we want to kind of flip this around a bit. Like so. I guess. Let's try and keep it out of the... Actually, Yeah, it's going to be annoying, isn't it? Because we want to kind of have silos. Do I have silos on me at the moment? Maybe I gave away the silos? No, I have silos. Okay, fine. Because we can have one of these things in here, yeah, and then we can also do this kind of business and pump some of this stuff out here, and then also this thing here is going to go there. Is it? It is now. It's going to be fine. I don't think I have plans to do anything else with this space. I kind of hope not, because I'm kind of crapping on these grid squares. I mean, some of these will tidy up, but there's also, yeah, I mean, there's enough other mess around that I'm unlikely to be putting things here. And also, new stuff is going in the big grids anyway. So that kind of, this one tile here is kind of spicy, but whatever. We want to bridge this over here. Yeah. And then we also want another pump here and kind of connect like that, like so, or whatever. Then we want to do, yeah, we want to do some pretty standard request stuff here. We want, I think the first thing we use is we try and get rid of these 233 rods, because we've got a lot of these. And yeah, we just need regular inserters. Do I have a regular inserter anyway? Whereas I must be able to queue a regular inserter from one of these builds. There must be, yeah, here we go. Because we are in the normal grid, we can actually use these regular inserters. I don't have them, but a bot should be able to bring me one. And then we want to circuit condition this thing to, yeah, as soon as a construction bot gets around to bringing me this thing, we can. Okay, that wasn't the bot I expected. Because I want to circuit condition this thing so that we don't actually use more than we need. So if I've got, say, less than steam, less than, say, less than 200,000 steam, which is a completely reasonable amount of steam, you only get to add one at once, and this still might get set off multiple times, but I'm still fine with that. And then we are not reprocessing this yet, but we are at least getting, I mean, the thing is, we're not even heating this thing with a neighborhood bonus. I don't even know if it's worth, I wonder how fast we can do this. And then this can probably also just, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. So yeah, so the other thing that I should do is this steam I kind of want to prioritize in first anyway. So I think at the moment, yeah, then all of this is followed, just like you have two of those, and then we just get some neighborhood bonus going and we just get this temperature up. And that's probably not even worth it, but never mind. We're just going to delete this one in a bit. Actually, when we delete tanks, the fluid in the tank ends up in the adjacent one. I don't know if the same thing works with heat, but also it's probably fine and I don't even care. Yeah, I think we delete this for the moment, and then when we're actually using sulfur again and this runs down, then we reconnect these things. Then also all these pipes are just things that can get out of the way eventually, not even a big deal, just like go away, whatever. Yeah, so we've got a plan for getting steam back into this build, which is giving us the sulfur. We probably nearly have, but don't actually have. I mean, we should be able to see some kind of ceramics all the way over here at this point, except for the fact they don't have a radar. But this station is turned off, which is a thing we wanted to see, and then we don't have. We have the lead coolant. We have the cool lead coolant, which means we have steam. Yeah, and then I don't think we set up all these belts, so we don't quite have all of that working. But I think we are at a point where I want to do a couple of things. First of all, is this... Yeah, so this is now done. This whole build here is just done. Water I don't care about, so that can all go away. This stone here, we probably just set up differently, because we've got these two belts of things which we can figure out how to jump over to the other side and into the station, but that's what we'll take over with this station. But also, I don't need the ceramics anymore. Like, I don't need the stone for ceramics anymore because we've got a better ceramic solution. The only issue is we are going to have a lot of rocks coming off these belts and a lot of drills coming off these belts as well. And, oh well, you know, sucks to be the bots. We're moving all of the stuff around. And then, yeah, clipping the rest of this out is something I can do in between episodes, but that's at a point where we are now. Like, that's going to be a pretty happy collection of things to do. Then ceramics was the other thing that we were looking at, because the ceramics... okay, so this one is... Wait, where is the ceramics? Yeah, the ceramic... Oh, this is a ceramics input station. I want a ceramics output station. Is this the ceramics? Yes. Why? Because I have no steam? Because I have no steam? Why don't I have steam? I was expecting to have steam. Why don't you have? Because yeah, okay, yeah. Because when this train is here, I think I thought about this before and then didn't do anything about it. This steam train is now blocked because this passage here is the only one that allows this train to get out, because we haven't built the rest of this grid yet. So I think the thing we do about that is... you go across there, you guys go away, get rid of these things, and then all of these power poles as well can also go. I think the pipes kind of annoyingly have to stay for a bit. I think this one is going to collide here. But then, oh yeah, then all of these things can go as well. We don't need these. We don't need these. We can do this trick of having the Logibots help with the station. And then we can get rid of this stuff. We just don't need to request stone here at all. And then we solve this problem of how do we get this train out by having... this, and this is basically the only reason why I've still got this old grid blueprint, is that grid blueprint will allow this train to turn right here and then cruise along to... it actually can't get out any of these slots, can it? Oh no, it can turn down here, down any of these spaces, and then yeah, so that can do the normal kind of grid things once all of that stuff turns up. And so that is going to solve that problem as well. And then what I really wanted to do, why am I here? Get rid of this thing, because we don't need it anymore. Need to request these to reprocess these. These are doing things. This is... why are you not getting... water. Pumping speed 0. Nothing there. Pipe. Why? Steam. Okay, so there was a mixed fluid... Oh, am I putting this in the wrong place? No, I'm putting it in the right place. Okay. Sure. Okay, fine, whatever. So all of that is going to do what it needs to, and we're now pumping some of that in from, you know, other places. We actually haven't fixed the steam thing. I'm still kind of contingently waiting on this to empty, but whatever. Because there was one other thing that I wanted to look at before heading back to the east grid to make those ceramics work. And that is, I think wait, did I just see... all of this is not running because blue science Interesting. Okay, so new objective, figure out why blue science isn't running. Blue science isn't running because of engines. Interesting. Why aren't engines running? Engines should be... Is this the engines build? Yes. Engines are just... Okay, so there's this weird imbalance thing between the stations. But otherwise... You know what, you just... We can rebalance this by having you go and getting stuff done. But otherwise... I think we just solve the engines problem, first of all by changing these from efficiency 1, well, yeah, prod mod 1 to prod mod 3s, and, you know, be more efficient with your stuff. And then also, K2 beacons, do you guys deserve K2? I can't super easily fit K3 beacons, because this pole is kind of in the way. I would need to move it, which I probably could do. That's probably still the thing worth doing. We're going to get rid of this pole. We're going to slide all these things over to the side. And with that, we should have space for a bunch of K3 beacons. And I'm not even going to... I mean, I don't know if these guys are going to keep up. It's entirely possible that these don't keep up, in which case let's also just throw... I don't even know why I have this many of these kinds of beacons, but we'll speed all of that up. We'll speed all of these things up. These guys are going to go much faster. We're going to get free stuff out as well. Hopefully that fixes the engine problem. These guys, if you can... Yeah, I can rebalance these stations by sending these immediately as soon as these empty out. But it also kind of doesn't matter because they're going to be sitting there for a while. Yeah, what was the other... That was the other thing I wanted to do. I wanted to come down here and figure out whether or not we have star engines, and we do. So let's grab a couple of star engines. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I was like, well, look at this, we'll figure it out. Give me 2 of each of these things. I don't actually know what other stuff I need. I suspect the first version of this is just going to be the thing we do badly. Actually, first of all, let's throw them down over here and see what even they do and how they connect. And they're quite big, aren't they? This one can go here. Doesn't have any module slots, which I'm not super surprised about. I didn't even look at what the recipe is, not a big deal. Cooling unit top side. Can we rotate these? We can't rotate these. That is not a surprise. Okay. This is... Okay, so this is a super good reason to have a new grid which is larger, because Star Engine doesn't actually fit in the small grid. Okay, fine. I mean, this is I think one of the things that has accidentally worked out pretty well, but we're not really going to worry about it. Oh, let's check if... Was that rail signals? Did he need rail signals? I guess we can take a bunch of rail signals. And then I was going to check whether or not there were more prod mod 2s that were made after getting stuck on stuff. And there are not many prod mod 2s. You're waiting on... Okay, red chips. It's always red chips. We just need to make a lot more red chips. Yeah, so let's go out to this spot. Number 1, make ceramics actually work, as opposed to mostly not work. Number 2, yeah, because I don't think this is. No, I think this is partly running. So I think some of these belts connected. But I think the middle belts weren't reversed. This should be built now. We need to drop a radar somewhere here as well. We need a couple more trains. Oh, that was what I was going to do before I got distracted with things not working, isn't it? It's the ceramic stations. Yeah, this ceramic stations. I reckon we just get rid of... We're not going to take stone here at all. We're going to empty this out. We're going to put ceramics over here. I think there's another ceramic station somewhere. It's something that looks like that. But if we can supply all of the ceramics from... It's not that, that's red chips. That is an unhappy red chips with no ceramics. I mean, I am currently redoing the ceramics, so I'm not overly surprised. That's blue chips. Is this this is the other ceramics. Oh, it's the steam problem. Yeah, we just broke that because of the steam. But we're going to get rid of all of this stuff. These are not going to be train stations anymore. This is just going to empty this out, and then we are just going to blast these two stations, get back a bunch of module slots, make ceramics elsewhere. It's going to be fine. Over here we are... Oh, we're actually only making a tiny amount of ceramics because we didn't even connect the rest of these things. Okay, fine. I can have my bots back, even though, actually, no, the house bots are going to be doing a better job here, aren't they? Yeah, plug the rest of this stuff in a way that's actually kind of good, which is going to be there. Some of these guys need their modules, which is fine. All of this stuff needs to be reversed. In fact, yeah, this line here is going to be the easy one, because it's just going to be there, yes, and then this way, and then this middle section is the thing that needs to happen differently. But other than that, this is all doing what it needs to, right? We've got some small amount of coolant, which is, you know, going fine. We've got a large amount of hot coolant, which is fine. These guys are complaining about a hot coolant shortage. Okay, that's a good thing to check. Those pipes weren't connected. Some of this, okay, so we're actually only running a tiny amount of this stuff. Half of this wasn't even running because half of these guys didn't have their coolant processed correctly. Are these... Why don't... Oh, because you don't actually have a fuel request. Okay, let's fix that at the same time. It's not even the super energized, is it? It's the energized diesel. Yeah, this one. Let's request 120 of each of those. 120, yeah. And then these two need to be enable train limit 2. Yeah, I set this up last time and then changed it, and so these two train stations are always just going to be available. And then we need to plug this, yeah, these two belts here. How far will this stretch is the question. So if I want to have something, yeah, something like this. And then, how far will this go? Can't go there. I guess it's going there, and then also, like, here. So I like how that looks there. So we've got, yeah, we need to get a bunch more speed 2 modules out here, which is fine. With all of these bits of stuff plugged in, we should now get... yeah, most of the ceramics we need, and then we also just needed more ceramics trains, didn't we? And we've actually got a ton of space around here, so we can probably just have... Which way do these need to face? This is going to face this way, and this one is going to face this way, and then we're going to do the same kind of supercharger stuff, because that's what these trains get these days. And then superchargers... And then also wagons I should have. Let's grab your setting, because you are just... yeah, you are just the thing that we need. Wagons... And yeah, then give you a schedule, yeah, and then give you each some amount of fuel. Tell you to go to a station about having ceramics, and you're all kind of going around the loop and doing the thing and going where you need to be. And we have now just massively boosted our ceramics. Let's check that all of these things are working. These are not all moving at... Oh, because I don't have all the speed modules yet. Yeah, and there's a bunch of gaps in these belts as well. So I think I'm completely fine with that. Let's just go to somewhere where we have a bunch of space. so we can muck around for the last couple of minutes of this session. Let's actually check that engines and blue chips are doing a thing again, because engines were in a bit of a... Where are engines? That's not engines. Are these engines? Engines have got all their beacons. These guys are now boosted a lot harder. You're getting ingredient shortage. Why? Oh, ceramics. Why? Oh, because I'm now blasting this half belt of ceramics into engines. Okay, I think I'm fine with that. You're building up again. I mean, this is... I think this is just some... I think the engines that are turning up here is... And like this imbalance of engines is just some weird transient behavior of... Maybe there being a belt lacking here or here in between when engines turned on and when they're running. But that should probably have got blue science back online again in a way that's probably fine. Yeah, because we've got a lot of engines out here now. Yeah, whatever, sure, that's fine. It's all good. We have done the thing. Okay, let us look at... Okay, not in that one because it's got some of this stuff in the way. But let's throw down a star engine and try and figure out what we need to do to put into this thing to make it work. Because I've got like three... Yeah, I've got a bunch of star engine recipes. I can make copper. I can make iron. I can make sulfur, and then I can figure out how to make other things. And so I think yeah, maybe I'm thinking about lithium because I've got a bunch of places that need lithium, and it's kind of vital because the base will die because I'm using it for fusion power. So other than that, the red chips, the green chips are the thing I'm looking at, because when we get an assembler 3 with 4 prod mod 3s in it, we need about the same amount of iron and copper to make green chips. I don't actually have... Yeah. Oh well, we'll just look at this recipe. Where is green chips? Yeah. Actually, well, actually it's not quite true, is it? Oh no, because it's the coils. Yeah, it's the we need the chips ratio. The chips ratio is 1 iron to 1.5 copper, but we can get 40% productivity out of the coils, so that the ratio is really like 1.5, but like 0.4 of that is free or whatever. Basically, the copper and the iron kind of work out the same. This is a fairly well-known megabasing thing, and so I reckon, and this is also why we have multiple star engines. If I have one of these doing, yeah, heated iron, okay, cool, we got to figure this other stuff out as well, and then if I have another one somewhere else, okay, yeah, so we'll have one of these doing iron, one of these doing iron, one of these doing copper, and then we will just turn all of that into green chips, is the plan. And then we'll just put green chips on a train and move those around the place. And this will also mean that, yeah, like the current green chips plan is somewhere over, yeah, like here's one of them, which is actually also still with tier 2 beacons, but we've got a lot of smelting happening. We're bringing in both copper and iron, which means there's a lot of splitters because things are coming off trains. There's a lot of inserters because things are going onto and off trains. And then there's more splitters because we're balancing this over more train ingestion. And the idea is like all of, like this much of it and this much of it can just go away if we can do a thing similar to the stone for ceramics thing, where we have some object that just generates all of the iron and copper. So that's going to be the plan here. So let's figure, like, we've got, so, you know, cooling unit top side. Cool, where does that go? It goes there. Sweet, where does cooling unit bottom side go? And these probably have recipes that I haven't even looked at yet. I don't even know if heating unit right side can go there. Heating unit left side can go over. Please do that. Please have my bots do a thing. Why are bots not doing... Oh, did I give away all my bots again? No, I have bots. There we go. Okay. So also, 1.3 gigawatts, 517... Yeah, so I still need about... I need about 3 and a bit gigawatts just to run a star engine, but we kind of have that at the moment. Like we've got 17 gigawatts of power. Pretty easy to get more. I can at least run one of these star engines, and then also we can have just more of like this is a thing that's pretty easy to copy and paste and put somewhere, and depending on whether or not I can make enough lithium and protium, both of which are kind of manageable, we can just get more of that out. It'll be fine. So, what does this even do? Heated protium into heated iron. Okay. Is this the sulfur copper iron? Okay, so these, the vertical ones are the cooling ones? Okay. We're doing an iron thing, so star engine cooling unit doing an iron thing, okay. And then these ones heat protium. So this recipe in here is protium. Okay. And how much protium do I need? I need 13 protium. 13,000 protium in 1 second. Okay. That's a lot of protium. This is okay, so we feed protium into both sides. We then heat the protium in the star engine and convert it to iron. And the rate at which we do that is this. Okay, 13k protium, 13k heated protium. Okay, then 26k heated protium into 1000 iron, and then 500 iron in each of these things? Must be in each of them. 500 iron there, and then 500 iron over here. Yeah, so this is a lot of stuff. This might even end up rated by the amount of protium I put into it, because like 1,000 units of iron out is a lot. That's what 45 per second is a blue belt, so we're looking at upwards of 20 blue belts of material. Which is, a decent chunk of stuff. That's a lot of green chips. Is that more green chips than I need? I don't know, maybe. Who knows what else we're doing with this? Okay. Because the other thing that I'm thinking about is the only way I've got that I know of at the moment to make protium, and we might have to revisit this, is, oh yeah, this thing that I can't actually see because I don't have radar coverage there. Cool. Let's find the one by the research fuses. Are these the research fuses? Yeah, this setup here, where I've got electric energy injectors into refineries, and these refineries, do you even have, I have refineries. Okay, cool. These refineries in this age will produce 100,000 protium in 100 seconds. So we can speed module this, but these guys are basically 1,000 protium a second. So if this thing wants 26,000 protium a second, then we, I guess, speed module this guy and also beacon these things. But I will need 26, was it? 26. I will need 26 crafting speed worth of oil refineries to get enough protium to get a star engine running the whole time. But then that does give me like 30 belts, 20 blue belts of iron, which is I think more than I need. Is there another way to get protium? Should be fusion stage? Oh, it's a fluid. Protium. Is there another way to get protium? So there's this, yeah, there's this tiny volume of like Coverx kind of stuff that we're not bothering with yet. There's the bulk way from hydrogen, which is what we're doing in the oil refinery, and then there's an unbarreling recipe. Okay, cool. So basically this is what we have to do. Then how do I get... Wasn't there also another way to get hydrogen? Yeah, the thermochemical separator. This one I needed to put heat into it, didn't I? And then there was... So this is 1,000 a second. Do I have... I don't think I have thermochemical separators on me, but this might be another thing to do with the nuclear fuel. That might be what we do here. Because what are these other recipes? These, oh yeah, these are the catalyzed ones, which I don't want to use because I don't want to use. And then this is the one that I'm currently using, which needs 5 times as many electric energy injectors. Okay, so maybe we do go back to the thermochemical separators and a new recipe, and then re-automating nuclear fuel so we can have, because I don't think the fusion stuff, there's no way of getting... Let's just go look at one of these fusion reactors. I don't think there's ever been a thing where... Yeah, there's no heat pipes here. This is all just... Why are you not running? Should you not be at least running a little bit? Do you not have enough inputs? Oh, you don't have enough inputs. Fascinating. Okay, so this is another good reason why I need to put... Yeah, okay, so not a huge deal probably. Okay, this is also why this power grid isn't at the 24 gigawatts that I was kind of expecting with all of these things, because some of them are offline. So this is still fine because this guy has enough, and then there's enough in these tanks to keep this cycle going for a while, which is fine. These steam tanks, yeah, okay. So we do need to put this other lithium protium loop down here just to make sure these guys are always getting enough stuff, and so these tanks are balanced, just so the rest of this always runs. But yeah, the main thing I was looking at here is there's no heat pipes. Like the thermochemical separator, there, unless there's something else that happens with these liquid lead heat exchangers, but I don't think there is. I don't think there are heat interfaces anywhere on the fusion stuff, which is fine. I guess that means we just, yeah, we get if we're doing the thermochemical separator version of this to get this hydrogen, because we need a lot of hydrogen, and we either need, I guess we've got two options. I mean, the thing about the electrical energy, do I have the electrical energy injected? I do. The thing about these is, like, we could still use this. I just need 5 of these, and this is probably easier. We can't module these, and they're like 10 megawatts. Is like, I mean, that's an expensive building for most things, but at this point I kind of don't care, because we're knocking around with 24 gigawatts of power if we fix that other power grid issue that we've got. Yeah, I think we can just do this with electric energy injectors. We'll need a lot of electric energy injectors, because this will give us 1,000 hydrogen every 5 seconds, which means we need 5 of those for each oil refinery, and we need 26 oil refineries doing protium to get this thing running at the maximum speed that we need. Do we even need... Maybe I could do this in a small grid, because it doesn't actually look like I'm going to be able to utilize this whole thing yet, because I want kind of smaller modular builds of things that spit green chips out. maybe, and I think, yeah, I think we can either have a lot of power grid usage here, or we can turn the nuclear processing back on again. Maybe we do the nuclear processing because we didn't have that much else to do. I don't know. And then where is the last step? Where is... So there's star engine recipes, heated protium, know about that one. Yeah, in the left and right units. Heat the protium in the core, fine. Iron we get in the top and bottom units, fine, saw that one. These ones are just in regular assembly machines. 500 in 6 seconds in regular assembly machines. I'm going to have belt output capacity issues, aren't I? Because if this is iron coming out, like this recipe, 500 iron plates in 6 seconds. I don't think I have anything that uses that iron that quickly. And I think even if I, even if I do something like this, that one, and then suppose we upgraded all these to blue belt, and this is probably still within the grid, so the housebots can help us with this, and it'll be fine. This is still only 45 iron a second, and we are making on the order of 100, I mean, you know, a bit less than 100 a second, maybe 90 a second. Less than that because of building speed. Can we module these? We cannot module these, but I guess I could also do something like, if I do... Can we mirror this like so? Because this will give me 3 blue belts of stuff out. I don't think we'll be inserter capacity bonus limited here, and this with the building speed might come close to a good utilization of all of the iron that we're making. Yeah, I think this is one of the things I'm going to have to think about. We have to figure out exactly how we use this. Maybe we turn the nuclear processing back on to use the thermochemical separator so we don't have quite so many buildings. We still need a lot of oil refineries. We then have more fluid input problems getting all of that stuff in here, because there's also no other way to make protium. Star engine is, I mean, I'm kind of fine for power grid, although so there's some other stuff to tap in there. And then we've got a lot of stuff coming out, because I guess what I really want to do is have 2 of these in the same place to get iron out and to get copper out. And so I think we have a bit of a play to try and figure out what's a nice pattern for that. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. We'll definitely pick this up later. I think this is going to be a long episode. I think do we also have a radar? Because I did want a radar. Can we... Yeah, I'll put a radar over there in between. This is all... I think we already checked that this was working, but I want to again check that this is working because there's still stuff blinking at me. This is not actually doing less than 400. I guess because we moved a lot of things in here. That's why, yeah, the first delivery arrived. A lot of these things filled up. That's all pretty fine. These guys are doing... These guys just wait. Yeah, they've got filled with ceramics waiting for stuff. We've got a lot more trains. That is pretty happy. Yeah, overall, we're still working towards this, hey, let's get a lot more red chips plan. The ceramics are now pretty much done. Happy with the amount of ceramics we're getting. And also, other than... Okay, so the train stations, especially these bits of train stations, are kind of a mess. But other than the water supply, we can still just copy this entire block somewhere else. I was going to put radar down, then didn't. Oh well. Yeah, next time we will plug in some star engines and make a bunch of green chips from water, apparently. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to figure out how to get all the stuff in and all the stuff out. And yeah, stuff.